like to welcome to the studio today Jimmy Siegendorf, CEO of Premium Seats. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. On behalf of the Entrepreneurs Organization South Florida chapter, we would like to congratulate you for earning your ranking on the Inc. 2014 fastest growing privately held companies in the United States. Congratulations. Tell us a little bit about Premium Seats and how you grew it so aggressively.
Premium Seats USA, we're an online ticket marketplace. We carry tickets to essentially every major sports, concert, theater event across the country and beyond. What really makes our company unique and separates us from our competitors is the fact that we do a lot of VIP packages and hospitality related products. We have a full line of ultimate tailgates, which are a lot of fun. We have professional tailgates in all 32 NFL markets. So we have beer trucks that are tricked out and converted with flat screen panels, beer taps coming out the side, DJ equipment, and we do the full package with the hotel rooms, the transportation to the party, the tickets, of course, and a full experience.
So I'm a little bit fuzzy on the experience. Is there any opportunity for your host for today to experience this firsthand?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Excellent. Your questions just got a lot easier. So what motivated you to launch this business?
Tell you what, I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. Think it was ingrained in me young as a child. My father was an attorney working for the man, and he would always tell me that there's only so many billable hours in a day. So he eventually opened up his own practice. I traveled around with him on my summer breaks during school, and I got to sit in a lot of cases, and I just learned young that I knew I wanted to have my own business. So I went to college at Florida State University, and I thought the restaurant business was for me. I got a job working in a restaurant with some young guys that had a successful operation. They were right there alongside, working with me, having a good time. They were successful, and I thought restaurant business was for me, so I pursued a degree in restaurant management. Shortly after school, I learned everything about the restaurant business I had heard was true from a management perspective, and that didn't work out for me. Fortunately, I got turned on to a sports marketing firm who was expanding to Miami, and they sold packages, high-end packages to C-level executives for the Super Bowl, the Masters, the Final Four. So they convinced me to go to Atlanta, started to learn the ropes in an office in Atlanta. Successful. I went to my first Super Bowl, which was in Jacksonville at the time. It was the Patriots versus the Eagles. Jacksonville was a terrible host city, so it wasn't a great experience from that perspective, but it really set off the light bulbs, which eventually turned me to opening my business. I sat in a room full of 10 tables of 10, 100 people, and we sold these packages for $10,000 a head. This was prior to StubHub. This is when the economy was booming, and I realized there was $1 million in the room. And I thought to myself, I could do this. It was a banquet space, which I knew how to contract out through catering. We brought out a filet. Chris Carter was there, did a little chalk talk, shook hands, took pictures with all the clients, and we showed them off to the game. But at that point, I realized that the ticket was the main component of this package. And make a long story short, or a short story long, I got turned on and met my business partner at the time through a family friend who did discounted theme park tickets and wanted to get involved in sports. I told him about my concept. He took a flyer on me, made a small investment, gave me the keys to the ignition, and I took it and run with it. Here I am.
That is amazing. What is the ultimate vision that you have for your company?
I would say the vision for Premium Seats is to really provide a one-stop experiential product line so that you could go to any event, anywhere, and we can provide a unique, once-in-a-lifetime experience that could not be found anywhere else.
Great. I can't wait to use the service. When you launched your business, did you create a business plan, or did you wing it?
Not so much. I've been fortunate. Most of my decisions made up up until this point have been on my gut. And our business is really a risk arbitration business. We invest in events, we invest in tickets. You win some, you lose some, and you hope you win more than you lose. And fortunately for me, that's worked out.
Great. So you had ideas then in your head of how you want to launch your business. Once you actually got into the business, did those ideas hold pretty true, or did you have to make some significant changes?
No, it's really been an evolution. It started initially on the concept of these packages surrounding these major sporting events. At the time when I started the business, my business partner and I got a little tip that Shaquille O'Neal was coming to the Heat, and we invested in some tickets so that we could put together an NBA Finals event. So we had all these tickets, and we were hoping the Heat could make it to the finals. They actually fell short that year. They lost to the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals. So our NBA Finals event never really transpired, but we would call people along the way, pitch them on this great event that we were having, and they just really want to know about what we had for a ticket for the game tomorrow night. So it evolved over that. It started with packages. We made some money with selling some tickets along the way, and the Heat fell short to the Pistons, and then we had to make a decision if we wanted to continue to grow our product line around these hospitality packages or invest in more ticket inventory. So we chose to invest in more ticket inventory. Going off some gut decisions, we grew our investment, and ironically enough, a challenging time that we faced was in the peak of the recession, when our creditors cut our credit limit overnight, and the next day we would have orders to fill and we had no credit, and we found ourselves in a trying time, and we had to figure out how we could generate revenue immediately overnight. And we went back to my roots. We decided to build out some packages, some high-end packages, and the very next day we generated some new business, which gave us the cash flow to continue our operation and grow that side of the business.
Fantastic. How were you able to establish credibility early on? I mean, you're selling $10,000 per person packages. It's a lot of money for a single event. Mm-hmm. How were you able to do that? Some I'll tell you what, like, the economy was booming at the time. This was prior to the recession, and some of these Fortune firms, they were times were good, and they invested their money in client retention and investing in their people, their sales force. And I'll tell you, we talked to 100 people a day, and there would be a lot of interest, but of those 100 people, 4 would actually be a qualified prospect for us, and 1 out of 1,000 would actually be able to afford to buy a package like that. So we were certainly catered to the elite, most well-positioned companies and that were operating at that time. Amazing. I think you own a tremendously cool company, and I think you're probably as best suited to run a company like yours. And I'd like to make a $1 million investment in your company, and I'm curious, how would you deploy those funds? Well, the ticket industry has evolved quite a bit over my 10 years in the business, and it's evolving as we speak. It's a time where the primary market and the secondary market were 2 different marketplaces, and they've now essentially became one. When I started the business, there wasn't a lot of credibility for companies like mine, and there was skepticism about purchasing tickets on the secondary market. But now the teams and the artists and the venues and the content providers have embraced the secondary market. They understand that there needs to be a healthy, vibrant secondary market for the marketplace to work, and they've now want a piece of the action.
So now the primary and secondary have blended and they've become one. And it's an interesting time right now because a lot of the teams are consolidating their partners who they work with. So there's a lot of exclusive opportunities. And with that exclusivity would come a big check. So at this time, we're seeking partners to work with and teams and looking for exclusive deals.
Okay, fair. Great. So if you had the unique ability and possess some kind of crazy magical powers to go back in time from the first day that you launched your business all the way up to now, and you had the ability of reversing any singular decision that you ever made, what would that be?
I hate to say that I've never made a bad decision, and I wouldn't reverse anything.
Fair enough. So let's look forward.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think the business climate will change over the next 5 years, and how will that impact your business?
Yeah, it's there's a consolidation effort in our industry, and there's a legitimate concern for a lot of the players that are in it, because the teams and the content providers and the artists are getting more efficient at pricing their tickets, and they're analyzing data. It's a challenge for people in our industry, and margins are getting squeezed as they are in many other businesses and industries. But I see the future of our industry in the secondary ticket market much like the travel industry and travel agents. There's a few players now. There's the major booking engines, and I see that happening in our industry. So there's a legitimate concern, but because our business is unique and we separate ourselves from our competitors by providing a full experience and an experiential product line, and with that, we also have our own customer base, and we act much like a concierge. We're a full service provider. I think there's about a 10% group of consumers in our country who really need that service. They want to pick up the phone. They want to speak to somebody that will be able to provide a full package for them. And I see that's where our business is going.
Interesting. What one word describes Jimmy Siegendorf as an entrepreneur?
I'd like to think myself as an innovator. Our business and our industry is extremely competitive. There's thousands of companies like mine. Everybody's a ticket broker these days. If you have a season tickets with, your Miami Dolphins, everybody's selling a ticket. StubHub's legitimized our industry, and everybody's a ticket broker. But unlike our competitors, we have been able to establish this unique product line where we don't have any competition.
So if you wanted to brainstorm an idea or problem solve with someone, who do you go to right now, if anyone?
We actually serve on a board of directors for the National Association of Ticket Brokers, and I also serve on a broker council with one of our main partners, a ticket distribution outlet. And our industry is a unique one where our competitors are also our suppliers. So although I have a lot of competition, I also rely on my competition, and we have industry conferences that take place in Las Vegas every year. And because of my involvement with these other organizations, I get to spend a lot of one-on-one time with some of my top competitors. And thankfully, we're able to sit down and brainstorm and share ideas with our competitors.
As a business leader, how do you make a mark within your business or even your community?
I can tell you, we make a mark. Our business is a fun one. Everybody loves to go to a live event, whether that be a sports event, a concert event, a theater event. So within our industry, within our business, we make a lot of donation with charitable organizations, and we give back to the community. I'm involved with a program with the Ronald McDonald House. It's called 32 for 32, in which we donate tickets to all 32 NFL teams for all the preseason games. So we get the families who are having difficult times with their children and having medical issues, and we give them an opportunity to get outside of the house and go experience an event and kind of take their minds off things. So that's just one example of many different charitable organizations that we give back to the community and donate our tickets.
That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You're in an unbelievable business. Tell me the coolest thing you've ever done within your business.
I'm in a great business, as you mentioned. I have the coolest job in the world. I like to think so. And just most recently, I'm running out of bucket list items, believe it or not. I know that sounds like a terrible thing to say, but it's true. But this past summer, I got to go to San Antonio for the NBA Finals to see the Heat Spurs game, and I sat courtside with my feet on the wood for a game in which the Heat won, and I actually got to high-five LeBron James on my way into the seats, and I think that was probably the coolest experience I've had.
Wow, that's amazing. Trust and respect. What thoughts come to your head when you hear those two words?
I think it's super important. Trust and respect it's a foundation on the principles that I live by. I think they're probably the most two attributable qualities you could have. Being honest with people and respecting others, treating them how you would like to be treated. I feel as though that's a big part of my recipe for my success, both with my business and my personal endeavors.
Great. Final question, and it's a tough one. Imagine for a moment tomorrow morning when you wake up, premium seats is no longer. What are you going to do next?
I can't imagine leaving this ticket industry. I would have to find a way to get involved with the entertainment industry, and if I had to go work for Ticketmaster, so be it. I'd have to stay in this industry. I tell you, I have the best job in the world. I really do. I wouldn't change it for the world. So I'd find a way to get back in, even if it meant going to work for one of my competitors.
Good for you. Good for you. It's been a real pleasure having you in the studio today. Again, on behalf of EO South Florida, congratulations on your most prestigious ranking on the Inc. 2014 list. Thank you so much for continuing to spur the entrepreneurial spirit in South Florida. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me,
so
Oscar.
much.
Appreciate it.